What's it called?
The Banshees of Inisherin, I was thinking.
But there are no Banshees on Inisherin.
2022 turned out to be a pretty good year for movies, with a bunch of hidden gems flying under the radar. But there was one film that absolutely caught me off guard. The Banshees of Inisherin, a tragicomedy masterpiece from the mind of Martin McDonagh. The movie managed to weave together themes of friendship, betrayal, violence, revenge, isolation, loneliness, identity, and belonging. It's set on the fictional island of Inisherin, nestled off the western coast of Ireland during the height of the Irish Civil War in 1923. At the center of it are two lifelong friends, Colm and Padraig, whose bond is broken when Colm suddenly decides that he's had enough of the same old routine and wants something more out of life. At first glance, it seemed like a story about two friends who ended up in a cycle of destruction and a never-ending conflict. But I think it was a metaphor for something much bigger. It was like a microcosm of the Irish Civil War, the conflict that tore apart a nation, and the film was a commentary on the consequences of that kind of conflict, on how it can seep into every corner of society and affect even the most ordinary people. It showed the futility of war, the way it just leads to more and more destruction, and you have to wonder how many of our own personal conflicts are like this. How many times we've held on to grudges or sought revenge, only to end up hurting ourselves and those around us. The film revolves around a central theme of loneliness and isolation, which pervades throughout the storyline. In Inisherin, the people seem to be stuck in a rut, despondent and disheartened by the mundanity of their everyday lives. It showed that the ones that stayed on the island seemed to lack any ambition, with many turning to the pub in search of some solace. It's actually a common phenomenon in small communities, where people feel trapped and unable to break free from the monotony of their existence. But in the middle of all this despair, there is one man who seems content with the simple life, Padraig. He wasn't ambitious like others, but that was precisely why people liked him, with many of the islanders calling him one of life's good guys.
You're more one of life's good guys.
You're more one of life's good guys, aye. Apart from when you're drunk.
Apart from when you're drunk, aye.
Of course, he wasn't as intellectually gifted as Colm, but he earned the respect of the people for how kind and nice he was. For Padraig, having a loving sister and living an ordinary life is enough. He wasn't resentful or miserable, unlike others on the island, and seemed to find joy in the little things in life, like sharing a drink with a friend. Now, I think Colm's decision to end his friendship with Padraig came from a place of depression more than anything else, because he realizes he's not exactly where he wants to be in life. Maybe he didn't start a family or chase his dreams, but whatever it is, he feels like he's wasted his time on this island. And because he still cares about Padraig, which is actually shown throughout the film, he decides to end their friendship. Why? Because he doesn't want Padraig to end up like him, old, depressed, and feeling like he's accomplished nothing with his life.
I was too harsh yesterday. Just have this tremendous sense of time slipping away in me, Padraig. And I think I need to spend the time I've left thinking and composing. But I'm sorry about it. I am like.
But Padraig seems to be pretty content with his simple life on the island. But if we look around, we can see that almost everyone else in the movie is older than him. And given his relative youth, it's not hard to imagine that he might end up on the same path as Colm as he grows older. We see this happening when Padraig's sister leaves and he starts to feel more isolated and resentful. We can assume that up until the start of the movie, Padraig and Colm were content with their lives on the island. But we then saw Colm struggle with his identity and purpose, something he attributed to his sudden shift to old age and the reality of being an old man. This theme of grappling with identity and finding one's place in the world is one that I think resonates with many people, making it one of the film's more relatable subjects. The film takes us on a journey through the friends' struggles as they try to reconcile their identities with their surroundings. Both Padraig and Colm share similar fears, but they deal with them in opposite directions. Colm fears being forgotten after he's gone, while Padraig fears being overlooked while he's alive. These deep-seated emotions form the core of the story and provide a profound insight into the very basis of our humanity. We see undertones of loneliness, isolation, and despair in almost every scene. The emotions are palpable, and we feel the weight of their regrets and the sadness of their lost opportunities. The film creates a powerful narrative of regret, reminding us that life is fleeting and we must cherish every single moment. But it's not just about regret and loss, it also highlights the destructive nature of revenge and violence. The characters' struggles are mirrored by the violent undertones in the story, the need for revenge and the consequences of holding on to grudges, reminding us that our actions have consequences and we must learn to act on our emotions wisely.